From smartphones to smart cars to that Fitbit on your wrist, IoT represents millions of rupees of potential for an industry. As the Internet of Things becomes more important for companies of all sizes, IT professionals are beginning to seek out roles related to this growing niche. Hello all, this is Upasna from Edureka, and in this module I shall be talking all things career in IoT. Jobs, salaries, market trends, I've got you covered. So before going into the session, let's quickly look at our agenda. So we'll start off by discussing a little bit about the current scenario in IoT, market trends, current salary situation and projections in IoT, and how it compares to other sectors. After which we shall see the salary trends in IoT by both experience and functional areas. Also, I shall be talking about the companies that are hiring for IoT as well as the roles they offer. Then I shall discuss the skill set you must acquire before applying into the sector. And finally, we'll see an outline of the training provided at Edureka. So without much ado, let's get straight into the module. So with the proliferation of connected devices, IoT has ventured successfully across all working areas in India and abroad. India is quickly becoming one of the largest hubs for IoT across the globe. Companies are viewing IoT as a key enabler in various fields and are open to integrating it into existing infrastructure. As the adoption of IoT has increased, IoT market is also expected to increase quite exponentially. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the salary trends and projections. Now, the median salary of IoT professionals is 15.2 lakhs per annum, which is according to the 2017 study. This figure compared to the 8.65 lakh per annum in the IT sector gives about 76% more to IoT professionals. IoT being a relatively new entrant, professionals in this area are commanding higher salaries. This number is predicted to go up as much as 17.5 lakh by 2019. So let's see how IoT does compared to other contemporaries. Like I said before, IoT pays 76% more than the IT sector. Interestingly, only 33% of IoT professionals have salaries under 6 lakh per annum, as compared to 58% in the IT sector. Also, we can see around 16 to 18% of IoT professionals in India earn in a salary bracket of 10 to 25 lakhs per annum. Almost 5% of IoT professionals occupy the largest salary bracket, that is 50 plus LPA, while in other domains, barely 2% of the workforce commands this figure. With that said, let's look at the salary trends for IoT professionals in India and the US according to the current financial year. So what I've done is I've divided this into two parts, salaries according to functional areas and then according to the experience level. First up, we have salary trends by functional area. Now, as you can see, I've divided this into 4 functional areas which majorly command the IoT industry. One is embedded systems, next system programming, then we have the engineering design, and finally application programming. In one end of the spectrum, we see application programming being the highest paying job in India with an average of 13 lakhs per annum, whereas its US counterpart pays about $69,000 per annum. On the other side of the spectrum, we have embedded technologies, which pays an average of 8.2 lakh per annum in India, but in US it is the highest paid in the sector with an average of $89,000 per annum. The system programming and engineering design sectors lie somewhere in between with 11.6 lakh per annum and 10 lakh per annum respectively. As for the experience level, more than 90% of freshers in the IoT field fall under the 6 lakh per annum salary bracket, which is not a bad number for a fresher. On the other end, somebody who has a decade of work-ex in this field can quote up to a 30 plus LPA salary. Now, what is interesting here is that from each experience level bracket to a higher one can lead to almost 50% jump in the salary. With this, I think we've covered the salary aspect of this industry. Let's move on to the career aspect of IoT. I'm sure a lot of you must be waiting for me to disclose the names of companies and the roles they offer. So the concept of IoT has given rise to a new era of economic growth, and companies are looking at it to transform their businesses. Now, here you can see two types of companies. Firstly, there are companies like Dell and IBM, which have a vested interest. Their core products and services are built around delivering and facilitating IoT. But there are also companies like Verizon and Accenture where it is more about preparing for the future. Although IoT hasn't completely changed the face of IT, it has definitely created new opportunities for job seekers in the markets. I shall be elaborating on this in the following sections of the module. Which brings me to current roles for IoT professionals. Now, if you were to ask me, what field do you need to be in to land a job in IoT? The answer would be many. IoT works on many layers. Software plays a key role in usability and functionality. Network layers are key to infrastructure, and hardware defines capabilities and development opportunities involved in an IoT solution. Existing professionals with transferable skills will definitely find progression opportunities with IoT. The IoT is based off many technologies that IT professionals are already familiar with. IP experts, both software and hardware engineers, and even UI designers could find themselves to fit in somewhere in the industry. These companies could be ranging from startups to tech giants that are driving the industry. But with various domains that have adopted the potential usage of industrial IoT, it has led to a massive job creation. But unlike the other fields, IoT job market is a complex one, given the wide variety of skill sets required in this place. Here are some emerging job profiles for IoT professionals a few years down the line. First up, we have solution architects. Now, what a solution architect does is that it takes an idea and converts it into a design, and then takes the design and converts it into code. Now, a solution architect may not be a back-end developer, but it takes the requirements of the company and then turns it into solution blueprints, which brings me to another very important player in this end-to-end execution, which is the product manager. The responsibility of a product manager may be many, but mostly it revolves around making sure that the clients get the solution they asked for on time. Moving on. Now, when we talk about IoT, we talk about huge amounts of data. And where there is huge amounts of data, we have analytics on top of it. So this is a job profile created specifically for the IoT industrial field, which is the industrial data scientist. These are data scientists that basically work with sensor data and have expertise on it. Which brings me to another very important industrial job profile, which is the industrial engineers. Now, as I've mentioned before, hardware plays a key role in the development of connected devices. For that, we need material specialists who can work on semiconductors that are used to make microcontrollers and microprocessors in those connected devices. Next up, we have another role that is created specifically for the IoT field. Now, IoT has pushed the developers to go beyond a full stack. We need developers at the back end who are not only proficient in software coding, but also in hardware programming. Hence, we have the fuller stack developer, which brings me to our final emerging role in IoT. As we have all known and predicted, very soon our shop floors are going to be taken over by robots. So what do we need? We need a supervisor who can take care just in case there is a miscalculation or a breakdown. This has created the final job profile that I'm talking about today, the robot coordinator. With that said, let's move on to our next topic. So while IoT is poised to be the next great boom in the field of jobs, lack of skill is citing the biggest barrier for companies that are looking to implement this technology. To be considered for any of the roles mentioned earlier, the qualifications you need are no different than an IT development role. Proficiency in coding and fundamental in object design are at least required for your resume to be looked at. But the skills you need here are way more than that. Businesses who engage in IoT technologies are businesses that are invested in the future. They are seeking forward-thinking professionals who not only meet standards in academics, but also have soft skills and innovative thinking. I am talking about people who can integrate deep knowledge in embedded technologies and concepts of cloud computing and edge computing. These people are tipped most to be in demand. Next up, we have networking and communication protocol. These are very important as devices need to be connected to one another at all times in real time. Finally, we need professionals who can convey a complex idea in simple ways, either speech, written communication, or other abstract methods. So, the IoT job market is the perfect platform for job seekers to showcase their skills and for companies to establish relationships with these professionals. So, this is the best time to get into this technology. And who better to guide you than the IoT trainers at Edureka? So, Edureka provides an IoT certification training, and the outline of its syllabus looks something like this. This training course is tailored specifically by industry experts, and it takes you through concepts such as IoT framework, ecosystem, and solution architecture. It also teaches you networking protocols and application layer in depth. You shall be working with Raspberry Pi and Sense Hats and will gain hands-on experience with Azure IoT Hub and Alexa Voice. This course also has a real-life demo and case studies which will help you master the IoT technology. So concluding, I would like to say that IoT is amidst an explosion. This definitely suggests optimistic future for professionals looking to dive into this industry. So grab this opportunity while you still have it. Thank you and have a great day ahead.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries, and we will reply them at the earliest. Do look out for more videos in our playlist and subscribe to Edureka channel to learn more. Happy learning!